Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to do the final week, which is week 5, the assembly of putting all of our quilt together. That's what it's going to look like when we're finished. Now we have 3 colors and the binding. So I'm going to show you the 3 colors first, and I have it laid out the first 2 rows, and I'm going to explain something to you as soon as I'm done here. All right, here's the 3 colors. So we have the E, which is the silver on white. We have the F, which is the berries, and we have G, which is the pine cones. Now, I'm going to take you over here to the table. I've got the first 2 rows laid out. I'm looking on the paper. We have a star, and then with the poinsettia in the middle, we have the white with the silver. Then we have the star with the berries on the inside. Then we have our pine cone fabric. Pine cone. Then we have our star with the berry again. We have another silver, and then we have the star with the poinsettia in it. Then for the very next row, which is the second row, we start out, and I'm starting on the left, going the other direction. We have the birds, and so now this is when you can do it directional. I'm going to do it this way so that my birds, this bird here, these 2 birds are upward. Then we have the star with the darker blue, the berries. Then we have the star with the silver. Then we have the berries. And then we have the star with the darker blue. And then the birds with the silver and white. Now, this is what I'm going to show you. That is row 1 and row 2. Let me show you the paper here. So here's row 1 and here's row 2. Now, you can tell that this 6th row, here it is, row 6, okay, is the same thing as row 2. It's identical. Row 7 is like row 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do row 1 and 2, and then do 6 and 7. Now watch, I'm taking my paper and I'm turning it upside down. You can see the numbers on the left. This is easier to explain it this way. And if you note, this direction, when I turn it upside down, this looks like row 1 and row 2. So I can do exactly, go ahead and pile the other set of rows. So I can put 7, row 7 here, and row 6 here with this 1 and 2, and come out with all 4 of those rows done before I even do the middle. Let me flip it back around for you. And the middle is created like it was when we did this one. The only difference is, instead of doing the 4 blocks, okay, to make our rows, we had row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And to make this row, we had to do this 4 square and this 4 square. Now we have to do a 3 and a 3. So we have to do 6. So I'm going to do this whole row last. I'm going to do these 2 first, and then I'll create these 2, these 2, these 2. It's starting to there we go. It was getting out of focus. And then I'll do these 2, these 2, these 2, and then we'll connect them to this. Because this is our week 3, which is already done. Okay? Alrighty, so let me go ahead and I'm going to, first I'm looking at them. They don't need to be marked. Now remember, the ones that have to be marked would be the, look, I'm going to bring you up here. So when you, get this out of the way. When you connect these, okay, if you think that you need to mark them, and what I'll do is I will take this, flip it over so that I can mark right up here so I don't lose my tip. Because you can sew on either side of your fabric. It doesn't make any difference as long as you're not getting it confused, okay, because that's what you're paying attention to, making sure that you have them correct. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark all those before I even connect them. Okay, who can believe we're already 3 weeks in? Unbelievable. I cannot believe it. And I have this right here, which you're going to see. It's actually flipped over this way when I ironed it, so you can't see the points to mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the little trick that I do. Oh my gosh, it says my bobbin's almost out. How can that happen? I guess I'm going to have to stop and take it out. I'm going to show you what I did here on the other piece that I had to mark that you can't see it. Now I'll show you here in a second. Take that out. I won't be on these two. I mean, I've already finished marking the 3. First time you mark them, you'll have 3 sets here. And I'm just going to chain stitch them. So I've put my first 3 together. I think it'll go faster that way. Who's ready for the next one? Everybody ready? Oh, I keep forgetting to grab my thing here, because I'm not used to it. Everybody ready for the next one? I'm glad they're having another one. Every time I get an email and they tell me there's another one, I get excited. That was 2023 going for everybody this year so far. I had a bit of last year was kind of rough for me. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. Still trying to get used to some of the stuff that's added into it that I'm not used to having into my year. That's why I can't get as many videos done. I'd like to get back to doing a couple a week, but at the moment I can't do that. There's just some other things happening. But oh, I do enjoy doing these. I gotta say, I really do that. Now don't worry, I was reading a lot of the comments, and a lot of people, their squares are turning out bigger, and then when they go and cut them down, they're losing their tips. So my question to you, hold on one second, let me cut this and then I'll be back and I'll ask the question. Right, so here's the one that you know how to do. You just go here to the edge. There's where my 2 stitches cross, and then you mark it. Now that one's the easy one. Here's the one I'm going to show you. That's going to be a little difficult. So I went ahead and I ironed my fabric this way, because this one had to lay down that direction. Now, in order to mark this one, because you're not going to be able to see it, I'm going to show you what I do. Now, it's not necessarily what you have to do, but this is what I do. I open it up just like I was going to do it. I go ahead and I mark it. Just like this. I take this and flip it over. Wait a minute, let me mark it a little bit more. Hold on. So I mark it quite a bit out here. Then I flip it over, put my ruler back on it. Okay. And I'm matching this here that I marked and this here that I marked. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark all the way across it. Because if I follow that line, even though I can't see it, if I follow it, I won't take off my tip. Oops, my little head of my pen isn't out far enough. So I haven't read any books, but I did watch a movie this morning. And I almost talked myself out of it. I hadn't seen it before. I was trying to think of the name of it for you. It's called Something Onion. And when it first started out, it made me think of, first off, it was I think it was 2.5 hours long or something. I don't remember. It was long anyway. All I could think, and it was a murder mystery type thing. All I could think of was the Orient Express. And the only reason I thought about that is when I first turned it on, there was a guy that was sitting there, and he was on a Zoom call, believe it or not, and it had Angela Lansbury on the Zoom with some other people. And it had to do with the fact that he was a detective. So that made me think of, you know, he was going to be the detective on it. But I thought I probably ought to watch just a little bit of it. I went and I cut that one and looked at it to make sure I didn't lose my tip, the one I just explained to you, and I'm going to show it to you when I get done here. But anyway, so I thought I'd go ahead and watch some of it. I wish I could remember the name of it. I can't remember it. But anyway, because I thought, geez, I don't think I want to watch some kind of, you know, murder mystery, whatever. But like I said, I'll go ahead and, you know, like watch maybe about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just enough to see if I'm even interested. And if I am, I'll go ahead and I'll continue watching it. I didn't know any of the actors or actresses. But I went ahead and I watched it. They had a really neat little puzzle thing at the very beginning, which was quite intriguing. And then the funny thing is that, I wasn't too far in it, and I thought, Jesus, you know, I need to back that up, because after it went, you know, went a little bit, and somebody knocked on the door, and I went, well, that was kind of weird. So I backed it up so I could see who it was, so I could figure out who I thought knocked on the door. Because these specific people, without telling the whole story to you. Alrighty, here's the one that's turned that way. And I want you to see that I did not lose the tip on it. It's got a little piece of thread right there. There you go. There it is right there. I didn't lose my tip. See, it worked. But anyway, only a given number of people were invited to this party. And what it was, well, what it said was that the guy who was inviting them, it said that they were being invited to solve the murder of this man who was inviting them. And I thought, okay, so it's not a real murder, because it would be ironic if he actually died, even though he said that that's what it was. I thought that was kind of weird. And so each person, as they were getting their box, now the box was a wooden box. Oh yeah, now that made me think. I do remember somebody. Goldie Hawn was in it. She was one of the people. So anyway, another guy that, but you know, I don't know their names. This is a problem. The actor, I did not know this guy's name, although I've seen him in some other films. That's the bad thing about getting older. But you know what I'm telling you, older or not, I never remember actors and actresses' names unless I've watched a whole bunch of their programs. Like Goldie Hawn, I watched a whole bunch of her and her husband or significant other, Kurt Russell. I watched a lot of theirs. I watched a lot of Murder, She Wrote kind of movies, you know, so that's why I know these people's names. But anyway, so this box was a pretty good sized wooden box. I don't think it was a heavy box, but it was a wooden box. Anyway, so they had to figure out how to open it. They took it out of the packaging, and then they couldn't figure it out. Well, they all called each other. And while they're all on the phone, they're trying to figure out how to open the box, which I thought was interesting. And the one guy that was opening the box, he had his mother lived with him, or vice versa. I don't know who. She lived with him or he lived with her. But he's trying to open up the box, and he said he had put it on the table. And he was they were all talking on their, they got like on I'm trying to think, did they get on a Zoom or they were on their phone? I think they were on their phone talking on how to open the box. And so she come in doing laundry or something. I don't even remember what she was doing, but she come in there and she touched the top of the box and the darn thing just popped right on open. Already they were trying to figure it out. Nobody could figure out how the heck to get the box open. And then she got hers open, and so they all ended up getting their box open. Well, when you opened it, the first layer in the box was puzzles that you had to figure out. And then when all the puzzles got done, the box shut itself back up and opened up the next level, which was puzzles. And then when that one got done, it closed on itself and opened up, and right in the middle it looked like a dome of some sort. Anyway, that program was on Netflix. I really wished I could remember the first word. Something onion. Shoot, I don't know. That is... I can't even remember a two-titled movie. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I watched it on my iPad, and it's downstairs charging up while I'm up here on my phone, so... And I don't have, I don't have my TV working. Anyway, it was very, very interesting. very. And the funny thing is that this detective that went, they went ahead and even before the murder got started, you know, have like a little bit of talking, and you know, the guy told the man was saying, okay, well, let's just go ahead and get started. And then the detective jumps up and he goes, well, let me just explain how it happened. Before it even happened, in other words, the guy's still alive and all this, and they're all sitting around the table, and he told how it was going to happen and how it got solved and everything. And it ticked the man off that was supposedly going to die in the program. So that like changed the whole movie. And then it turned out really, really good. Because like I said, I was thinking of like Orient Express or some other show that I saw where they said they were going to spend a weekend on an island and try to figure out how the person got killed. And it was like, oh no, it's going to be one of them and it's going to be boring. So I wasn't going to watch it, but I ended up watching it. It turned out really, really good. So that's it. Now I just did the first whole entire row. So you guys go ahead and do the next row. It's going to be put together the same exact way. And then after we get these three, we'll go ahead and we'll do that middle section. And I'll show you how to put that together. But if I run into anything that seems like it's hard or it needs to be marked a special way, I'll come back and tell you about it. So there's row 1 and 2. Now that's all I've done so far. Right there. And I'm going to do the last 2 rows now. The next step is we're going to put these 2 together, then these 2 together, and then these 2. And then we'll sew each row. There's 3 rows there. We're going to do the same side here so they are the opposites. Okay, see how they're the opposites? I'm trying to back up as much as I can here. All right, let's pin them and get them sewn. Here is our week 3 right here that I have put. I'm going to do the left side first. I'm going to attach that. Then I will attach the right side. Now keep in mind that your stars are up at the top and the bottom down there before we put our top strips and our bottom strips on. So let's do that. Thank you everybody for watching my video. Be sure and make a comment. Go. Be sure to make a like, a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And welcome to all my YouTube subscribers. And I'll see you shortly for the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. I came back on real quick at the tail end here because I just looked at the video and it really looks like the fabric and everything is yellow. But that's my lighting downstairs because all I have is a old pole lamp. And when I say old, it is from my ex-husband's grandmother. She had it as a young lady in her home. And the bulbs are the, you know, the new ones they got out that are supposed to last a long, long time. They're like spiral. That's what's in them. And so that's what gives off that light. I don't have any natural lighting or anything in there. But I want to say thank you to Megan because she filmed it while I held it up real quick. So thanks a lot, everybody. See you next time, which will be pretty soon. Bye-bye.